Imagine waking up to snow-covered mountains, crystal clear lakes, and villages so beautiful they almost don't look real. This is Switzerland, a country that millions dream of visiting at least once in their lifetime.
Welcome to Switzerland.
For many people, Switzerland feels like the perfect place to live. It's clean, peaceful, safe, and surrounded by breathtaking nature. But there's one thing that surprises almost everyone who comes here. The moment you buy your first coffee, book a hotel, or check apartment prices, you quickly realize something. Life in Switzerland is incredibly expensive. A simple cup of coffee can cost around $7. A basic meal can cost $25 or more, and renting an ordinary apartment in a major city can easily cost thousands every month. At first, it doesn't make any sense. After all, coffee beans don't grow in Switzerland, so why should the same coffee cost 2 or 3 times more than in many other countries? Most people think they already know the answer. It's because Switzerland is rich. That sounds reasonable, but it's actually only a small part of the story. To understand why everything is expensive, let's imagine you own a small coffee shop in Zurich. Nothing fancy. Just a simple neighborhood cafe with a few tables and 3 employees. Every month, you have to pay rent for the shop, electricity, fresh milk, coffee beans, insurance, cleaning, taxes, and of course, your employees. Now here's where Switzerland is different. In many countries, a cafe owner can hire workers for relatively low wages. But in Switzerland, employees expect much higher salaries because the cost of living is already high. Imagine one of your employees earns the equivalent of several $1,000s every month. Suddenly, paying salaries becomes your biggest monthly expense. Now ask yourself one simple question. If your business has to spend much more money every month, can you still sell a cup of coffee for just $2? Of course not. The only way to keep your business running is to charge more for every cup you sell. That's why the same coffee costs much more in Switzerland than in many other countries. And this doesn't just happen in cafes. The same idea applies to restaurants, supermarkets, hotels, hair salons, repair shops, and almost every business across the country. By now, the expensive coffee starts to make sense. But here's another question. If workers earn such high salaries, why don't companies simply move somewhere cheaper? Because Switzerland isn't trying to be the cheapest country in the world. Instead, it has spent decades becoming one of the best. Think about Swiss watches. People don't buy them because they're cheap. They buy them because they're trusted for quality, precision, and reliability. The same idea applies to medicines, medical equipment, engineering, and many other Swiss industries. Instead of competing on low prices, Switzerland competes on high quality. When companies create products that people around the world are willing to pay more for, they can afford to pay their employees higher salaries too. So higher salaries aren't just a cost, they're also the result of an economy that creates a lot of value through skilled workers, advanced technology, and high-quality products. Now we've answered our first mystery. Expensive coffee isn't really about coffee. It's about the entire system behind it. But salaries still don't explain everything. There's another reason Switzerland feels so expensive, even for tourists. And surprisingly, it starts with something you can't even see. It's called the Swiss franc, Switzerland's national currency, and it's one of the strongest and most trusted currencies in the world. Imagine you've saved $1 million. Would you keep that money in a country facing political instability and high inflation? Or in a country known for stability, strong institutions, and a reliable financial system? For decades, many investors have chosen the second option. They buy Swiss francs because they see Switzerland as a safe place to protect their wealth. When millions of people around the world want to buy the same currency, its value becomes stronger. That's exactly what has happened to the Swiss franc over time. A strong currency has many advantages. It helps protect savings and makes imported goods relatively cheaper than they would otherwise be. But it also makes Swiss wages and services look very expensive to visitors paying with weaker currencies. Imagine you're visiting from a country where your currency buys fewer Swiss francs than before. Even though locals may earn salaries that match Swiss prices, you experience those same prices very differently. That's why two people can walk into the same cafe, order the same coffee, and feel completely different about the bill. For a Swiss resident earning a Swiss salary, that coffee may feel normal. For many tourists, it feels surprisingly expensive, and that's only one piece of the puzzle. Because there's another everyday expense that often shocks people even more than coffee: housing. So far, we've solved one mystery. We know why that cup of coffee costs more. But for most people living in Switzerland, coffee isn't the biggest expense. Housing is. Imagine this. You finally get your dream job in Zurich. The salary is amazing. You're excited. Now all you need is a place to live. Easy, right? You open a property website expecting hundreds of apartments. Instead, you find only a few, and many of them are already taken. Now imagine 100 families looking for only 20 apartments. Who gets the homes? The people willing to pay the most. That's where prices begin to rise. This isn't just happening in one neighborhood. In many popular Swiss cities, demand is simply much higher than the number of homes available. So why doesn't Switzerland just build thousands of new apartments? That sounds like the obvious solution, but the reality is much more complicated. Take a look at Switzerland from above. Mountains cover much of the country. There are lakes, forests, farms, and protected natural areas. Not every piece of land can become a new neighborhood. Imagine you have 10 pieces of land, but only 3 are suitable for building homes. Now thousands of people want those same 3 pieces of land. What happens? The price of that land goes up. Now comes another challenge. Building homes in Switzerland is expensive, not because builders are slow, but because almost everything costs more. Imagine building the exact same apartment building in 2 different countries. The materials are identical, the design is identical, but the workers in Switzerland earn much higher salaries. Which building will cost more to build? Exactly. Before anyone even moves in, the building has already cost millions. Those costs don't disappear. They become part of the rent. Now add expensive land, high construction costs, strong demand, and limited space. Suddenly those high rents start making much more sense. Let's leave the apartment behind. Now it's time to buy groceries. You grab bread, milk, eggs, cheese, fruit. Then you look at the total. And once again, you're surprised. Let's imagine you're a farmer. You have 2 choices. You can produce food as cheaply as possible, or you can spend more to produce higher quality food while following strict safety and animal welfare standards. Switzerland chose the second option. Let's do another simple experiment. Imagine you're growing tomatoes. You have 2 choices. Grow them as cheaply as possible, or spend more money to grow better quality tomatoes. Which would you choose? In Switzerland, many farmers choose quality over quantity. That means better farming methods, stricter food safety, and higher standards for animal welfare. Those choices produce excellent food, but they also cost more. Now think about the people behind that food. Farm workers, truck drivers, warehouse staff, supermarket employees. Just like cafe workers, many of them earn relatively high wages. Those costs become part of the final price you pay. And then there are products that Switzerland simply can't grow. Coffee, bananas, many tropical fruits. They travel thousands of kilometers before reaching Swiss supermarkets. Every stop along the journey adds another small cost. By the time that banana reaches your shopping basket, it has already been grown, packed, shipped, transported, stored, and delivered by dozens of people. Every step adds value. Every step adds cost. Now let's talk about something people use almost every day: healthcare. Many visitors are surprised by how expensive it can be. But once again, there's a reason behind it. Let's do one more experiment. Imagine you need surgery. Would you choose the cheapest hospital you can find, or one with modern equipment, highly trained doctors, and excellent patient care? Most people would choose quality, even if it costs more. Switzerland invests heavily in its healthcare system. Highly skilled professionals, advanced medical technology, and high standards all require significant funding. That's one reason healthcare costs can be high. The same idea applies to public transport. Swiss trains aren't just famous because they're clean. They're known for being reliable, comfortable, and connected across mountains, valleys, and tunnels. Building and maintaining that network isn't cheap. Now let's go back to the question we asked at the very beginning. Why do people still want to live in one of the most expensive countries in the world? Because when many Swiss residents look at the price tag, they don't just see the cost, they also see what they receive in return. Safe neighborhoods, reliable public services, clean cities, beautiful nature, economic stability. That doesn't mean life in Switzerland is easy. Many people still worry about rent. Families still plan their budgets carefully. And rising living costs affect Swiss residents too. Like every country, Switzerland has its own challenges. So here's the real answer. Switzerland isn't expensive because someone decided to charge more. It's expensive because almost every part of the system, from wages and housing to infrastructure and public services, has been built around quality, stability, and long-term investment. At the beginning of this video, a $7 cup of coffee probably sounded ridiculous. Now, it probably tells a different story. A story about the farmer who grew the beans, the driver who delivered them, the cafe worker who served them, the rent for the building, the salaries behind the counter, and the system that makes all of it possible. So the next time someone says, Switzerland is so expensive, you'll know there's a much bigger story behind that price. And maybe the real question was never, why is Switzerland so expensive? Maybe the better question is, what kind of country has Switzerland chosen to become? That's a question every country can learn from.